Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the PML Wrestling Show. It's the PML Crew, Rich Lopez, Homeboy Malloy.
Yo, yo.
Where our price is always with us, top shelf. Homeboy, before we get into the wrestling portion of the show, the other 97% of the show, how was the Father's Day, man?
Dude,
This wasn't your first one, right?
No, it's my second.
It was like days before?
Yeah, literally Mackenzie was born I think on a Sunday. Yeah, she was born on a Sunday, and literally the next Sunday was Father's Day.
Okay, I was going to say, I was wondering about that when we were golfing, but how was your, we obviously golfed.
Had a good time.
Tom. Shredded him.
Yeah.
The father and son duo.
TNT.
Tom, yeah.
TNT versus the other people. That's what I wrote on the scorecard.
Is that what you did? Yeah. Q and Rich Lopez, his younger brother Mike, and then Tom Sr., Tom Jr. They beat us by 5 strokes. Yeah. But it was a good time.
It was a really good time.
Froze our sackles off.
It was pretty hilarious when my dad got all pissy and we that guy.
That's right. It was like that was what, hole 2 or hole 3?
Yeah, hole 3. You're not gonna ruin my day.
yeah, it was funny, but at least I know that the golf etiquette is what makes Mr. Malloy tick. So I'll note that going forward. But obviously we did go golfing on Sunday. Pretty much the morning to the early afternoon.
That was a long day. I could, if I don't ever play 18 holes anytime soon, I'll be happy.
I don't mind 18 holes, but I feel like you have to do it in the morning.
Yeah,
because
like 7.
You have to do like 7 or 8, like as soon as they open, so you don't have to wait for people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it still probably would have taken us about 3.5 hours, but us waiting for people, that like.
And we were pretty quick. I mean, we were playing better ball too, so.
That's what I'm saying. It was quick, but us waiting like each hole, like you have to add like what 2 to 3 minutes to that. I mean, that adds an extra, like an automatic hour to it. You know what I mean? But all that to say, I think we parted around 4 o'clock. What did you do after? I know you had Din scheduled, right?
Stopped at Wawa, got a hoagie and mac and cheese. So that was good. I got a turkey, spicy turkey one, and then my brother and dad got a Italian.
Solid, good choices.
Yeah, then we had some steak, shrimp, corn. It was good.
That's good. Cube holding it down. That's cool. Too bad he couldn't hold us down because he could drop those driver bombs, dude.
Yeah, he could get you to the fairway, but after that, it's
it was my job and I failed. My Father's Day was good. The baby was a little sick, so took her to urgent care. Then met up with you guys for golf. Came back home, kind of just took care of her. Christine obviously held down the fort for the majority of that day. So thank you, Christine. But all that to say, it was I guess relaxing, fun-filled day of golfing activities, which is it's always good to get out there, us hang out, and stuff like that. It was a little too cold though. It was like 60 degrees outside.
And a very extreme wind.
That's what really pissed me off too.
I thought there might have been a twister.
Yeah.
I also should have checked the weather before I left the house, but that's a whole nother conversation.
You definitely should have that because you and your brother and your dad had shorts on. I think your dad had a short sleeve pullover. Did you have one too or no?
No, I had a regular long sleeve pullover. That was actually really warm.
That's good.
My parents are gonna get that back.
Your boy came equipped to the weather.
Yes.
Pants, zip up.
You had a zip up in your golf bag. I'm like, damn, dude, you're an adult.
I'm an adult and I'm official when it comes to the sports. When I might not be good. Like I always say, I tried hard. I played hard, not good. Yeah. So that's how I was with golf. But enough about that. Let's go into wrestling. Apologies for the delay on the. I don't even know if it's going to be the current episode or last episode. Left my thumb drive here at Casa de Malloy, so that's currently on the back burner. But if this comes out beforehand, right now we're going to be watching King of the Ring 2001, Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. And before we get screwed, let's just hit that. But give you guys a timestamp while we kind of talk about something real quick wrestling related. 1 hour, 36 minutes, 17 seconds. It is a graphic of Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon getting ready for battle. Again, King of the Ring 2001, if you want to go on the Peacock. 1 hour, 36 minutes, 17 seconds. And so.
Shane also looks like, in this photo, a young mafia boss mugshot.
It does kind of with the jumpsuit, right?
Yeah.
This is Kurt Angle.
Looks like he's from an episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah, you're a Sopranos guy.
You should watch that, I'm telling you.
Dude, I just watched Batman, bro. And it's 2 hours and 56 minutes long, and it took me 3 days. Talk about adulting. To me, that's what adulting is. Where you need to watch a movie or watch a show in multiple sittings. So I can't even imagine what I watched. The Sopranos are hour shows or half hour? Hours, right?
About 45 minutes, yeah. I took me, adulting related, it took me almost a year and a half to watch the whole series.
And it's like what? How many seasons? Like
7.
Oh, it's only 7?
Yeah.
That's doable then, maybe.
7, about 15 episodes a season.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was old school, so I thought it was like 20 episodes, and I thought they were at 15 seasons. So
it was definitely 8 seasons, but I think there was 15. I think there was 15 or 20 episodes, and like season 7. There's really only 7 seasons, but halfway point of season 7. Like the ending half didn't come out for a year later because everyone who worked on there went on a strike because they wanted people to get paid more.
That makes sense.
So like the actors who are making buco money, like they're like, no, production people aren't going to make. We're all not going to work.
That's how you know you get the power. That's good. Yeah, no, maybe I will watch it then because to me that's not that bad. Everything pre-Netflix I feel like was always like either 11 or 12 episodes a season or 21, 22.
Yeah,
like
that's
Friends
how,
and Parks and Office and all that.
That's what I was watching. Scandal. It took me over a year to finish that.
That's another one, yeah.
That was like 20 episodes.
Yes, and now you have Stranger Things, which is, 7.
Yeah.
Ozark, 7. Netflix messed the game up.
Stranger Things is good, yeah, but their episodes are 2 hours long.
That is true. I'll give them that.
Did you check out the new Stranger Things yet?
I did, yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And it really explains, I guess, how everything comes to be.
I'm not going to lie to you. I fell asleep at the last 15 minutes of the very last show, so I have to go back and watch it before Volume 2 comes out, which is
Sam
July.
just told me what was going on, and I was like,
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch it. I think Christine finished it. But Volume 2 comes out July something. 2nd? 1st?
Yeah, it's week of the 5th.
There you go. I know it's like Independence Day week. So definitely watch out for that. So hopefully you guys have gotten ready. We're going to hit play as you know what we usually do. 3, 2, 1 play. So real quick before we get started, if you guys ever want us to watch a match off a pay-per-view or a specific superstar, definitely reach out to us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at PML Show. You guys talk or speak or whatever, and we listen. So if you guys have, like I said, a wrestler, you guys want to watch another Kurt Angle match, No Way Out, 2006. Hey, we could do that. You know what I mean? Or if one of your favorite pay-per-views is SummerSlam 91, we could watch a match from that or whatever. So definitely reach out and go from there. So are you ready to do the honors of the 3, 2, 1 play?
Yes, sir. 3, 2, 1. I'm waiting for the crack the beer.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Play.
There we go. What are you sipping on real quick as we get this graphic? So we have the promo and then the entrances and then we'll obviously talk throughout the match. But what are we sipping on here, homeboy?
I'm sipping on a Citra IPA by Iron Hill Brewery.
Whoa, that's sweet.
Out of Philadelphia. Very good stuff. So it's good. I was able to stop by the brewery last week for work. I was in the same town, so I went ahead. And I saw it. I was like, I'm going to get a 4-pack for the road. Something to try when I get home. It's pretty good.
Why the F not, bro? Celebrate.
Exactly.
Celebrate. I'm sipping on the, what do we got here? Salsarita. I love how Corona does Ita at the end. Or, I mean, obviously it makes sense for their brand. But I'm drinking the peach flavor Salsarita. Not too bad. I think the mango one was a little bit better. But when in doubt, I always go mango. And then when in doubt, I go peach.
Peach is always very good. Mango, I would probably go with the peach over the mango, in my opinion.
Yeah. I never had the lime one yet, though. And then I always save
lime was good. I had that one.
Strawberry or watermelon. I forget which came in the pack. Strawberry or watermelon. But I gave that one, or Christine likes that flavor. So
yeah.
That's like her favorite flavors. Black cherries, but then that's her second. So I always let her just take her pick off that. Look at that Angle slamming that promo, huh?
Dude, Angle was
he's jacked in this with this little tank. Look, I think I might wear that July 4th, I think.
You should.
It's a beautiful thing.
I think he was actually underrated at this point in time.
Yeah, ironically you said that. I was getting ready to say there's point in time there's a match or an event that takes place to where I kind of think that solidifies their I don't want to say impact, but maybe like their stature on the roster.
Yeah.
I feel like this match that we're about to watch did that for Angle, because until then it was like he's just a wrestler. Like, he never really did gimmick match. Like, he obviously did the Hell in the Cell match in 2000, but other than that, he never really did, like, ladder matches or cage matches. Like I said, he did the one Hell in the Cell match, but this is a street fight, and I feel like you never really saw him do that. Obviously, Shane is known to do that, because him and Vince can't really do wrestling matches.
Yeah.
But, like, to me, like, I always go, like, Mankind at King of the Ring 98, his performance was so good that he should have, like, he deserved a WrestleMania main event. I feel like this performance here with Kurt Angle in 01, he should have got, I don't know, I mean, everybody says Hogan and Rock should have been main event at 18. That's obviously up for debate or discussion. But he should have been at least in the title match. whether that went on second to last or last.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have been Jericho, Triple H, and Angle, or you could have done Angle and Triple H straight up, and then save Chris Jericho for maybe WrestleMania 19 or something like that. But I just feel like this match is kind of what solidifies him. He's like, all right, I've officially seen Kurt Angle do it all.
Yeah, I think so too, because he was already at this point in time. He was Intercontinental champion. He was WWE champion, King of the Ring. So I mean, he did everything besides having these like actual, he had physical contests, but it wasn't like to this degree.
Exactly.
And I think this also solidifies Shane. I mean, obviously he did the big jumps and stuff, but there were just a lot of stunts.
Exactly. This is actually a good match.
Yeah, so this is like where I think we start to see Shane as a wrestler, not as like just the boss's son who's going to get his ass whooped the whole match.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool to see like Angle too, who's like, Olympic gold medalist, everything else, going against a guy who's really not. He's just, a scrappy kid from the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut.
Mean streets, baby.
Yeah.
I like the Super Mac T-shirt.
I always liked his gimmicks for pay-per-views and stuff. That's something I'm happy he stuck with over time.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that he's in better shape now than he was like in 2001. Like he looks, and he's also much better wrestler now too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I guess he kept up with it. It looks like he also trained a lot.
I mean, he could always hold, his punches are a little but other than that, look I always think of how wide Angle looks right there. Like he looks just wide as shit right there.
And Angle's 5'10".
Really?
Yeah, he's 5'10" or 5'11". He's not 6 foot.
I wonder what they bill him at.
Probably 6'2".
6'2". When in doubt, 6'2" or 6'1", right?
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause that's what Mick Foley started a podcast. And it's okay. There's just too many wrestling podcasts now. It's oversaturated. But one of the best ones is the PML Wrestling Show. But Mick Foley's like, yeah, he goes, I'm actually 6'2", but he's like, ladies like 2 more inches. That's what he said in the podcast. I was like, I like that. That's a good gimmick. I think
Foley could have a good one.
Yeah.
Who's it with? Is it with Connie?
Yeah.
Dang, Conrad's... That's a good one, though. I feel like that's overdue.
Yeah, just his last one was called I Left My Ear in Germany. And he talks about that whole story. And he said to the nurse in German, where's my ear in German? Like, because he was going to start doing gimmicks, like, because they were going over Germany so much that he was going to start, like, doing, speaking in German, which is cool. So he's talking about, like, the Mankind gimmick, how he would, like, come out and, like, he learned songs in German, like, say them really slow, and the German audience, they go crazy.
That is funny.
But focusing on Angle here, I think this was just...
It's his best shape of his life.
Yeah.
To me, at least, like, wrestling-wise.
I think he said it in some of his podcasts, like, at this point in time, he was still training like he would train for the Olympics.
He just looks thick. Like, he was ready. Like, his body can take the bumps, like, no problem. Like, in 2000, you could tell that he was... Obviously, he was an Olympic wrestler, so he's always going to have, like, the thick wrestler body. But, like, if you look at him here, he might be on that TRT or something.
Yeah.
Or that,
testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah, he might be on something to maybe enhance his body a little bit. Because it just looks... If you look at his body here, like, just even a couple months, like, in 2000 when he first won the title, he just looks ripped right there. But at the same time as I'm saying that, I don't think he cheated. Or it's not really cheating, obviously. It's allowed. But, like... When he won the title, that was in October of 2000. This is June of 2001. So, I mean, like, all the time with the bumps and the bruises and the lifting to keep your body active with the tension and all that, obviously that creates a thicker or bigger body. And I just always look at him here, I'm like, holy shit. Like, he just looks like his neck looks massive there.
Yeah. So this is coming, is this before or after SummerSlam where Shane does the big drop?
This is after. This is way after. So I think drop-wise, you have the Shane drop at SummerSlam. I believe at Backlash 01, he did something against, I think it was the Big Show. That was similarly pretty big.
Yeah.
I feel like there might have been another one beforehand too, but I could be wrong. I mean, obviously he did the Coast to Coast with McMahon at 20 or at 17.
Yep.
So he's been known to do some bumps. The McMahon Street Fight's an actual match that I kind of think gets overlooked because it's on WrestleMania 17, even though like when you list out the undercard, that's one of the proponents, but I think because of TLC 2 and Taker Triple H, then you finally think of the McMahon Street Fight, where I think that's maybe Shane had a good match against X-Pac at 15, but up until then, I think the Street Fight at 17 was probably his next best good match. But again, that kind of gets overlooked because you have Rock Austin and then a decent undercard.
Yes, then, I mean 17 is, in my opinion, after many watches and many takes, it is the best WrestleMania of all time. However, it is very strange, probably for current state of affairs, watching anything Vince McMahon related back from that point in time.
Yeah, man, let's talk about that. That's crazy. I mean, maybe Shane gets a bigger role. I mean, he just kind of got let go. I mean, we don't know if that was in a what sort of, like, not talent-wise, performer or corporate role. As we see a lot of roles right now in the ring.
Triple H also said he came back down to NXT today and said he's back. Reports.
Oh.
So I think there's gonna be a lot of different things going on in the product. Whatever's going on with Vince, hopefully, the truth does come out, and if he's wrong, he's wrong. If he's not, he's not. And the reason they have to do these types of things too, it's a publicly traded company.
Yeah, they have the audits.
They have audits, they have shareholders, they have stakeholders.
Dude, if I had a stake and $3 million was missing, I'd be like, let's check that immediately.
Now, if it was Vince McMahon's personal money and he just paid some girl $300, okay, you get hush money. That's
his personal money, so not affecting me.
Yeah, and that's like misappeasing company funds, even though because I think Vince sometimes even himself forgets that he's a publicly traded company. Because if it was the '90s, that's what he would have did.
Yeah, of course.
If it was the steroids or anything like that, he would just like,
Snuka.
Okay, Snuka, yeah.
Completely agree.
Or some of his performers, like, if you're running a business and it's your private business, you can do what you want. You're the boss.
Yep.
But in this case, he is the boss, but there's a board of directors that oversee everything he does.
Yep. Smart move by Shane here. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because obviously Steph came back for the time being until the investigation's over. You obviously said Triple H is kind of.
It's not like a criminal investigation. McMahon's not going to jail. It's pretty much just an audit, and I could see Vince being like, "I'm going to be okay. I'm a character now."
Every week comes out. Yeah, if you notice, I'm on SmackDown and Raw now, so yeah, I'm not CEO, but I will be an active performer.
And he's still backstage, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably in the gorilla, doing everything he always did. He'd probably be like, "I'm not even taking a paycheck."
Probably not.
That's just his baby, and I don't think he'll do everything in his power. I think to stay there until he's no longer in this world because he'll just be booking all the gimmicks up in heaven or hell or wherever the frig he goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestlers up in the heaven or hell.
Yeah.
So
figure out your take on that. Yeah.
Really good WrestleMania card on there. Heaven Mania.
Yeah, I saw a meme. It was like Karma and God. God's pissed.
I saw that.
God and, he's pissed because he went over on him. Like I was like, that's hilarious.
Oof. I like stuff like that too because like it doesn't look scripted. Like it looked a little sloppy, but it looked like it got the job done.
They just looked like they collided heads, and that's pretty cool. What do you think of the team of Paul Heyman and Jim Ross?
Dude, that's crazy. I was thinking the same exact. I was getting ready to ask you that. I was like, I'm ready to tee this up. No golf etiquette or no golf slang here, but I think it's very underrated. But of course, it's going to get overlooked because it's in between the both runs of Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. So like you have Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross of the Attitude Era, and then you get them in the Ruthless Aggression Era, kind of. So it's kind of like just kind of gets overlooked. And obviously Heyman's there pretty much to be like the Invasion, like
he's a hype man.
Yeah, performer. So because the Invasion is universally like regarded as a shit booking, which I thought they did the best with what they could. I just feel like it kind of gets overlooked because of the storylines that were provided for the Invasion. But I've always liked Heyman. I think he's the second. Maybe the second or third, like greatest mind in wrestling, honestly, like of all time. But that's also my era. So like for me, it's like post 1990. Like I think Paul Heyman is the second best, second or third, depending on the day or depending on the match. I might say Pat Patterson, but he's not dropping lower than 3 for me.
Yeah, I would agree. And even right now, if we could bring it back to even current wrestling, it looks like he's going to be going up the chain as well.
Paul Heyman is?
Yeah.
That to me that means more producer success. Role. That's good. Yeah. I just hope that because that's the one thing I would say about Paul Heyman is because he's so like at your face, which I'm not mad. Like that's how you get ahead in life. You know what I mean? Like the persistence. I feel like people have a short window with it, or like a short. He's on a short leash. So I feel like hopefully they don't get sick of him because when he was a part of Raw, he wanted to push Balor and Ricochet and Aleister Black. And that's why you saw them get like a 3-week run, and then all of a sudden he's out the window, and then Aleister's gone.
But apparently
Ricochet goes back down to
like Wade Keller and all those dirt sheet riders, like Triple H and Stephanie and Shane are really high on Paul. Vince just never was.
Makes sense.
Well, Vince, that was like his I look at it this way, like. Okay,
I feel like
so
Pritchard's not.
Yeah.
I feel like Pritchard is, but he's not.
Yeah,
like
he's like,
he's annoying to.
Yeah.
I feel like Heyman is annoying to him.
Yeah, because I look at it this way, like the head coach of the Yankees has the minor league coach, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, coming in, and like he's going to be like his first base coach, or something like that. And you're just like, dude, you
go back down.
You did a good job in Wilkes-Barre, but you're not going to do a job here. And this is New York City, baby.
Exactly.
And
that's a good reference.
I just think that's a really like a big thing. Like that's I think how Vince will always see him. Like you were the big coach of the minor league team, and I think he sees Jim Cornette the same way. Mm-hmm. And however, I don't know how Jim Cornette's
good. They're all good minds, like you said. So that's why you always kind of like want to compare. Like if Heyman had the WWE roster, what could he have done? Because if theoretically, if you think about it, like he did kind of invent the Stone Cold gimmick, and he was cool. Like he made Foley a household name for the brief stint that he was there. So like it's always like comparable to that. Look at the neck bridges, dude.
Oh my God, Angle was
he's a machine, dude. And that's the other thing too that gets overlooked in this match is that this is his third match.
Yeah,
because he did the
Edge match. He did
the Christian match, and then the Edge, and then. Actually, let's go over the King of the Ring card while we... Yeah,
because this is where Edge gets the...
King of the Ring, yeah.
King of the Ring.
So, obviously, King of the Ring, that's how 2001. Beautiful placement of the garbage can there with Shane. June 24th, 2001. So, what are we? Actually, when this comes out, I will be on time with this episode, I promise. Would it actually be 21 years ago?
June 21st, you said?
June 24th.
24th is Friday.
So yes, that's crazy. 21 years ago. East Rutherford, New Jersey. We were there. We've been to East Rutherford before. Continental Airlines Arena. Attendance. You can put this lottery number if you want. 17,777. So 17,777. Yeah, obviously the King of the Ring is a one-night tournament. That was a beautiful move by Shane. I saw that flying in the air. I always try to do that whenever I would do the elbow. I would think of him and Perry Saturn had a good one. It's crazy, like kind of like moves I would just try to take from random people when I was back in the day of prime time. But let's go to this is on Heat, I believe. I got the H here. So Sunday Night Heat, the first match. Matt Hardy defeating Just Incredible for the European title. And then here comes the start of the show. Kurt Angle comes out, defeats Christian in the first semifinal match. Edge defeats Rhino in the second semifinal match. Then we have a little bit of break of the tournament. So we have the Dudley Boys defeating Kane and Spike Dudley for the WWE Tag Team Champions. Then we go to the finals of the King of the Ring because Kurt Angle had that's usually the second to last match, but because Kurt Angle had his match against Shane McMahon, it kind of got bumped up. Edge defeats Kurt Angle. And Shane, it's good storyline play with this because Shane helped Kurt Angle beat Christian in the first match. Then he cost him in the finals against Edge. So it's like he made him have that extra match because Christian was actually going to beat him, storyline-wise. Then Kurt Angle gets a one-match break because Jeff Hardy defeats X-Pac for the Light Heavyweight Championship. And then the final two matches. We have this beautiful match with Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon. And then we have Steve Austin defeating Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship match. That match is a pretty decent match. That's kind of the brink of... I feel like that's when Austin wasn't fully over as a heel because I think he was really good as a heel when he had Triple H.
Yeah, I agree.
But then obviously Triple H is out like 3 weeks beforehand because of the quad. So I feel like Austin being by himself, like people start to like him again. So that triple threat match, and like I feel like people aren't sold on Benoit as a face yet.
Yeah.
Jericho was always a good face and a good heel, so whatever way he went, it was good. But I feel like that was a good match, but the crowd just didn't know how to.
I don't think they knew how to react. Yeah, because I watched this I actually watched that triple threat a couple weeks ago, and watching.
Benoit gets hurt, and that's actually out for a whole year.
And Benoit, to me, was never really a great face until, like, 04.
Yeah, it just never made sense. When he became, like, a legend.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But in this era, to be a face, you had to be, like, entertaining. And he was just...
No,
he was what you saw is what you got.
And
he wasn't a Jericho.
No, Jericho he was more of a Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
Or, like, a Lance Storm.
Yep.
Yeah, they were, like, all, like, kind of the same. I mean, I don't think any Canadian wrestler besides Owen Hart and maybe Edge and Christian had charisma.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you look at all the, like...
Bret Hart did, but it was like a silent charisma.
It was more of like a Benoit kind of a charisma.
Yeah, like it was like I think it was like a hair more than Benoit, but definitely not at the level like you said of an Owen or a Jericho.
Yeah, I think because a lot of those guys just want to be Dynamite Kid.
Yeah, that's true.
And Dynamite Kid had no charisma. I mean, Davey Boy Smith did, but not. And he was. I mean, he wasn't from Canada, so
yeah.
That to me, that's kind of like how all those. Because Jericho, like he was. I was watching stuff with him last week with him versus Cena, like in 2005, and I was like, man, he was such a good heel.
Such a good heel, such a good face. It takes a rare person to do that. I don't know if you saw. I always forget that Kyoto took a kendo stick to the leg. Trust me, I feel your pain, Kyoto.
I do not. I don't know how that feels.
I'll go out first. I want to get it over with. First one's taking a kendo. All right, Rich, you can go first.
You go first.
You son of a, you know what?
Dog biscuit.
Yes, sir.
Angle really does take a beating, though, in this match.
Well, I don't think we really touched on it, but he took a stiff right hand to the
he
right
got
above the eyebrow.
busted open the hard way.
And they talk about this match on one of the WWE series, that Untold series that you can see on Peacock. I think this is actually one of the first ones that they do.
Yeah.
And they talk about how like Shane kind of set the tone of not holding back their moves because 2 minutes in, he takes a right hand and it busts him wide open. So we really didn't talk about that. I'm sure if you guys are watching along with us, you guys see it. If you guys are riding along with us, sorry we didn't touch on it. But yeah, he got busted open the hard way. Moonsault. I feel like that's where you kind of see the athleticism in the ring, where you're like, oh shit, man, shit. Like,
so does Angle just call that all the time? He's like, you should do this moonsault spot.
Either you or me, because Angle used to do a pretty sweet moonsault too.
And that was actually a shooting star press. It wasn't.
Sorry, yeah, my bad, yeah.
Yeah, because Angle had a nice moonsault. So does Cody. So does Shawn Michaels. They're like my three favorite actually. But Shane, like I was comparing to the Lesnar spot. I was like,
makes sense, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I only saw the Lesnar one from I think it was a dark match that he did, or the OVW one.
I saw it from an OVW.
Dude, it's beautiful. I wish he landed that. But I guess he just. I mean, I'm sure the match at Mania was a lot longer than the OVW match, and then obviously the jitters of 54,000 people,
10
watching.
10 people, and you built the ring like
1,000 people to 54,000. Yeah.
And Lesnar like set up the truck like he was just like doing like his like. That was like something you do on the farm. Set everything up, and he probably was able to do flips. He'd go out with his buddies and just do backflips.
But, man, that size to do that. And he's also back, by the way.
How do you feel about that last man standing match, SummerSlam main event?
I just hope Reigns wins. Like, I obviously like the feud. It's so cool. I think maybe Lesnar came back.
I'm not burnt out by it yet.
Yeah, see, I'm not. And I think it's because maybe I don't want to say we're a letdown out of the main event at WrestleMania, but obviously, I felt like it was anticlimactic with.
Well, Reigns
people,
got hurt.
I'd say people said that they shaved a couple minutes off because of the Reigns injury. So, it was good, but it definitely could have been better. And maybe that's why Lesnar came back. He's like, listen, like I want to just end. I want to make sure this feud ends on a good note. So,
so there's a lot of hype involved in it.
They said Riddle and Rollins might be also on the show for SummerSlam. So SummerSlam's looking pretty good.
I'd like that.
Yeah, because Orton's going to be out for.
Yeah.
I mean. Maybe he comes back for Rumble. Oh, this is where Angle breaks his tailbone.
Yep.
You ever see the Don't Try This at Home?
Yeah.
Look at his face here, too. It's insane. People that are listening on the Spotify, it is... Which hopefully you're still watching the match, but if not, like Angle's face just looks like he doesn't know what to do. Like, he's just like, yeah, that does not feel good.
Angle did get hurt a lot. He had a laundry list of injuries over his wrestling career.
Well, dude, think of the wear and tear his body took from he won the Olympics in '96
with a broken freaking neck.
But he already had a broken neck. But just think of the training that he did and the tournaments that he did years prior, and then you broke your neck for the Olympics. You might have taken a year off because you did turn down the original WWE contract. But so let's say you took a year off, but you kept training. You obviously, after that year, went to WWE to sign a contract and then start taking bumps. Yeah. So it's like his neck, dude, it has to be
he has
quadruple the age that he actually is.
He has to have a lot of arthritis. I know he just got he got double knee replacements. No one does that, one. You usually go for one, then a year later you go for the other one. But he's a machine, two at the same time.
He was a machine then, and then obviously because of all the surgeries and replacements, he might be a machine in another facet.
Oh my
I actually kind of like that too.
No,
he definitely tripped, but yeah, it kind of shows the
The
pain,
realism.
and he also probably really doesn't have any feeling in his back.
And watching this, like, he's in a lot of pain. And
here comes one of the most iconic.
Because he's had a shit ton of concussions, too. Like, you look back at the SummerSlam match. Oh, my God.
Speaking of concussion, try to go through the glass. I mean, again, you guys can listen to the story on Untold because it's actually, like, sound bites from Shane and Kurt Angle and Kyoto, who's the referee in this match. And it's like you kind of it's no footage. I'm pretty sure it's just still images, and then you hear like they're telling you what happened. So the glass was supposed to be the sugar glass that you always see when people go through glass in wrestling, but because it was so close to the pyro, it had to be real glass, and that's why Kurt Angle said, "Hold my beer, you're going again."
Yeah.
And they just went through.
But you wouldn't think as a fan watching it that wasn't. No. It's just like this is a very physical match.
To me, that makes it look cool.
Like, like watching it back now, it's even more like chilling to me because it's like I watched the Untold. I listened to Kurt Angle do a watch along of this match as well.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you got a broken tailbone. Like you're coming off of SummerSlam where you were concussed during half of the match with Triple H.
That's true too. Yeah.
And because he like literally was talking about this and that, like how Shane's just like talking him through it.
He is because he's saying like. He's like, you better put me through this glass. Because like, it's a pivotal point. And this part's kind of funny. Luckily, it's not funny, but like it doesn't work. But you can see like Kurt Angle because they're behind the glass, like talking to each other. And then like Kyoto's like, I gotta sit down and get this camera guy out of you guys talking because this camera guy's thinking, he's trying to break the fourth wall. Because
Angle's just like, dude, are you okay? Yeah. Like puts his hand on it, like he's concerned.
He is.
And it's the truth though. And then like.
But again, to me, that's like the real element.
He's like, come here, little bastard. Like, let's try it again.
And this one's even worse because they're
oh, God.
Yeah, but it's so awesome. And then Craig was like, shit, I can't like thrust my hips.
Leave you. I can't lift you. At one point, I would just be like, boom, head first.
This is what happens. Craig was like, yeah, you're going through.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's real glass, so luckily, like, nothing bad happens to his arm.
Or his head or his eyes.
It's like, just I mean that's for Shane, yeah. But I mean like Kurt Angle's arm's just dangling as all the glass just drops from the top. And then this is where I think Shane said, like, watch Kurt Angle's arm it's just in there as everything falls. Just chilling. Yeah. Like luckily nothing hit.
His ass is in so much pain.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, that's true. But I think Shane talks about how this is how Vince wanted to stop the match. Can you imagine that this is the match that kind of stops? I mean, which it would make sense kind of because it's his son. But at the same time, it's like, did you see what Mick Foley did 3 years ago at this event?
Well, you tried to stop the match actually twice.
That's true. That is true.
And what's crazy to think about is...
I like this element too. Like, I mean, first of all, it's obviously shoot because he has a broken tailbone, but...
You gotta be crazy. Like, Shane, like, Vince is probably just like, watching him do this over the years. Like... Triple H's son-in-law trained, did all the stuff to become a wrestler. Like, yeah, you're my grandkid's father, but you're not my, like, he cares about it. But, like, you're trained. Like, he actually does the work.
It's not blood, yeah.
And it's like Shane's like, all right, he was an intern here. He's a ref, and now he's getting thrown through glass. He's bleeding, like.
And the one thing I do want to note here, we don't have the volume up on this, but I completely forgot because I always think of whenever I see this dolly cart that Kurt Angle's bringing in to wheel Shane McMahon to the ring, Paul Heyman, I always think, he's like, it's the three eyes. It's actually the fourth eye. It's ingenious. I always forget how well Paul Heyman put people over.
Oh, my God. He was so good, and his vocabulary was so
and like that's it, and
fruitful, I guess you would say.
Yeah, like, it's very, like, obviously Jerry Lawler's Jerry Lawler and Bobby Heenan's Bobby Heenan, but, like, I do want to put over that announce team like you did earlier, too. Like, it's very good, and... Again, maybe because of the timing of it with the invasion angle, and theoretically it was only 9 months long or whatever it was. Like, it just wasn't. It wasn't long enough to remember, I guess, long term when you compare it to the long lasting. But I think it was so good, and yeah, I kind of wish like this was this was a commentary team that lasted a little bit longer. But
yeah. I mean, this is definitely one of my favorite. I mean. JR did a lot of different people over the years. He teamed with Cole. Coachman was a part of the Raw team.
Yep.
He did some stuff with Tony Schiavone in the late 80s, does some stuff with Tony Schiavone now.
I ain't gonna lie, I think Tony Schiavone's better than Jim Ross now.
I think Tony Schiavone's very good. Yeah.
If you're a wrestling fan...
Jim Ross gets confused Like I'm nothing on Jim Ross. He does.
Oh yeah, we're not trying to shit on him.
Yeah, he gets confused a lot.
When I listen to him, I just don't think I think he tries to have the emotion that he used to. But even, I mean, I listen to his podcast. Like, I think he knows that people try to make it look so scripted that I think he thinks
hates
it's
that
hard.
stuff.
Yeah, he hates it. So I feel like it's hard for him to manufacture it. Now, I could be wrong, but when I hear him on like Dynamite and stuff like that, I'm just like, I don't hear the Jim Ross of old. And maybe he doesn't want to do that because, again, that was the old Jim Ross. So, like, maybe he's trying something new. But
yeah,
it's just, to me, like, when I hear him, I'm like, if I didn't know who that was, like, if I'm a new wrestling fan, I would think Shivani's better than Jim Ross. Not saying that Jim Ross is bad, but, like, I think actually Shivani's better than him right now. Which I would have never said that in 2001.
No.
Like, Shivani was good, but I would have been like, yeah, he's not close to Jim Ross, honestly.
And you have two, like, the best... Beautiful. I would say the best announcer from WCW and the best announcer from WWE in the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. But I just think, too, I think Jim Ross watched a lot of it, and he's like, he doesn't like the flippy-dippy stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't feel authentic.
Like, he'll be watching, like, old, like, matches, and he'd be like, oh, that's awesome. He goes, Steve Austin never won with a tope suicido.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like Jim Ross is a guy that is very, he goes off authentic feeling.
Yeah.
He tried to do Oklahoma football, and that's obviously, you call it as you see it because it's live.
Well, yeah, he even a lot of times, he didn't know the finish to a lot of matches, so it was more authentic. And he still does that to this day.
I would say he might still not know the finishes, but I think he understands that, like, the new style of wrestling is now, that it just looks like it's so protecting your opponent and doesn't look as physical as it used to be.
I feel like when he calls some of the ex-WWE guys, if they're having a match like Rusev versus Daniel Bryan or Jon Moxley versus even Kenny Omega or versus like one of those top tier talents, he's like, yes, this is what I want to see.
I think he likes Omega because of the strong style. That looks legit.
Yeah. Or the Young Bucks, he likes him too, probably because they're signing his paycheck.
Yeah, of course.
I know he was very high on Cody, but I think Cody is pretty much going to be he's going to be like Cena, or he's going to be Cena, Rock S, Austin S over the next couple of years.
Hey, I saw that wood for my deck.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm kidding.
You rented it for me.
Yeah, you took it from me. This is a very underrated bump, too, that we're about to watch. This is obviously the ending of the match. I hope you guys enjoyed this match, because this is actually one of my favorite matches
Yeah, and there's a lot going on this time in wrestling. That's why I feel like we kind of were a little bit all over the place, but at the same point in time, it's solid content, good conversation.
No, 100%. And like that's the one thing, too. We talked about the card, well, at least the main event, and obviously to start off the show, DDP came out to begin his feud with The Undertaker. But look at that bump, dude. That's crazy.
I'm just thinking of his...
Dude, the glass kind of flies up in the air. The crowd goes wild for it, and you have to realize that that's a heel giving the face the move, and the crowd goes wild because of the match and of the ending. Like I said, this is the event to me that makes, like, if I was Vince, I'm like, Kurt Angle's being in the title match at Mania, like, he deserves it. And then on top of it, this is actually the next day, because of his tailbone injury and Austin's injury that happens late, the next match with Booker T, that's when they start all of their backstage stuff with Vince. So that's an extra element of comedy or entertainment that Kurt Angle provides. That if I was Vince, I'm like, yo, how do I not put him in the title match as we got the 1, 2, 3 there with the beautiful angle slam? Because it's like, you could obviously, you see he can do any kind of match. You see how entertaining he is. And don't get me wrong, Jericho did the same exact thing, but I think the Jericho thing was rushed because it went from face, and he was only a heel for 4 months, where Angle was a heel from, he debuted in 99. He becomes a face here for the WWE, but then he goes back, that's only for like 3 months, and then he goes back to being a heel full time. So it's like he's known to be a heel. He's more comfortable to be a heel. So I feel like he would have made the crowd hate him more for Triple H to beat him.
So is SummerSlam before this or after this?
So you're thinking of SummerSlam
I was talking about before, I was saying SummerSlam 2000, not 2001.
Yeah, so 2001 is where he faces Austin, and then he's a face. But he's a face for kind of the Invasion. The Invasion's just WWF, so it's not really him.
So whatever,
Yeah, it's like whoever's on the team. So after, because that's when Austin turns, he's a face. SummerSlam, he's a face. Unforgiven, and I think No Mercy, he's a face. I could be wrong, though. He might have been a heel at No Mercy, but at Unforgiven, he was a face. So, like, for 2 pay-per-views only, he was a face. So that's why I feel like that would have been a better role for a heel to lose to Triple H. Because I don't think people fully invested in Triple H as a face, or either that or they just didn't buy Chris Jericho as a heel yet because he wasn't full throttle. But this match is fantastic, and I always say 2000, 2001 was the best 2 years for me. Like in regards to your undercard is Jericho, Benoit, and Guerrero, and Malenko, and Edge, Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys. They were lacking a little bit in the high flying department. But in 2000, 2001, WCW didn't have that advantage either because they really didn't do it. They had like spurts of it with 3 count and I think a couple other people.
You're missing 3 count.
They had 3 count. But I mean 3 count to 3
count Billy Kidman.
No disrespect, but they weren't
Guerrero, but they weren't on the same level as the Dudley Boys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian.
Well, but they weren't even the same level as a Malenko or a Mysterio. Juventud might have been, but not at that time. Like Juventud with the mask, yes. Juventud without the mask because of the way they booked him, not at all. But like 3 count wasn't Mysterio or Guerrero or Jericho, Malenko. Like it's weird, but I just think the 2000, 2001 roster, like I think of that as the Attitude Era roster. 99 had a lot of promise, but it just didn't work out. 98 had a lot of promise, but I think they were more built on storylines, a.k.a. Vince Russo.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that this, 99, this Attitude Era, this part, obviously, like I just said, this is a good roster. But the 99, 98 is similar to, now, where you have, 2 or 3 guys that are good, and then you're just waiting for, like Kevin Owens. I love what he's doing with Ezekiel right now. But it's I want to see, a little bit more, because it's been going on a little too long.
Yeah, and also at the same point in time, he wrestled Steve Austin at Mania. He better get a decent opponent at...
whatever the next show is. Big show. SummerSlam, yeah.
Yeah,
unless Elias comes back or something, because they might do that. I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay attention to that much current stuff, but I did see the side by side.
It's one of the coolest things I think going on storyline based.
Yeah,
and it is an interesting concept, especially how they have them side by side. So it's what do you do with Ezekiel? And it has Elias grow a beard back that quick. So. Cool. I guess it could be glued on, but that's got to be tough, especially sweating and everything. I get keeping a wig in.
See, that or a double with the beard, or a beard attachment or whatever. But I mean, it's something that they kind of did with the Foleys when they did that back in '97. Yeah. They were all on the same screen, but obviously it was all meshed together. Something that is way above my pay grade, but I wish I knew how to do because it looked badass.
It was badass.
Shout out to that segment, but. I mean, it's a cool segment. It's a good little holdover to Post-Mania, but when we get into the SummerSlam realm, which is in another month, I do hope that Kevin Owens has a bigger role. We kind of talked about it, we're Reigns and Lesnar.
Theory versus Cena.
I think so too. I'm not mad at that though.
Neither am I. I'm really excited for that. Especially, I love how Austin Theory did the Cena photo shoot. Mm-hmm. Really cool. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And he really is a young Cena, except for he has more charisma than Cena did in his first couple of years.
Okay.
First year.
I would say first year. I don't think I think 03 is when he started the battle rap, and that was amazing.
Yeah, that was the best. That was probably his best gimmick ever. Word life.
Yeah, that was so natural. I can't think of anything else, but
that's it, man.
So that was the match. I mean, hope you guys enjoyed it.
Where does this sit top 5 for Angles? Is this sitting Angles top 5 of matches? Or is this maybe another portion of Angle's career, just gimmick wise, it was one of his best, or was it what?
That's a good question.
Because I mean, he had wrestling classics.
I don't know who you think of.
I'll say
who's the first opponent you think of when you think of an Angle opponent?
I think it's just a Steve Austin.
I think of Austin. I was gonna say I could maybe think of Lesnar.
I think of Austin, Lesnar, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
Those are good. That's a good.
But
5.
I mean, there was a lot of other ones too, though, like Jericho, Benoit. Guerrero.
See, I think I like Guerrero. That's a good one.
Edge
is a good one.
Good story. I mean, that's the reason he's.
I think they missed the boat on Jericho.
Rock's another one too.
Yeah,
that's top 10. That's what I would say.
I think they missed the boat on Benoit. Benoit's a good one. They did that in 03. I was gonna say I think they missed the boat on Jericho. They did that a little too soon in 2000. I wish they kind of did it back in I wish they kind of did it again, similar to Benoit, 2002, 2003, but. That's a good question, man. To answer your original question, I think this is just more of the match than the opponent. Because if you think about it, it kind of started out of the blue anyway. It was.
Yeah, him and Shane was a really strange.
Just weird. It was
just started.
Kurt Angle just got out the feud with Benoit, got his medals back, so he wanted that ceremony. If you guys saw the promo, he wanted to talk about his 3 eyes, and then Shane came out to talk about his 3 letters WCW. So if you think about it, the feud started over letters. So it really came out of nowhere.
It never really went anywhere after this either.
No,
they just had a crazy match.
So I think it's more of the match than the opponent. Yeah. But Yeah. What do you think about Shane? Like, I think that's his best match right there.
I think it is Shane's best.
AJ Styles is his number 2.
I was gonna say, and that's another person in Kurt Angle's post WWE career, which goes very unlooked. I think Jarrett, Abyss, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Sting are, or Christian maybe, depending on which storyline you like better.
Of course.
But his TNA run too. So I mean, Angle's had a plethora of opponents, but overall, looking at Shane, his best match was definitely this match, in my opinion, and also the AJ Styles match at Mania. And, he did, in between, he had some good matches, good feuds, especially the DX stuff that him and his father did down the road. But other than that, I would say they're his best too.
Hell in the Cell handicap match was good. Yeah. Him and Miz had a pretty good feud too.
You got to think
at 35.
I think of the stuff him and the McMahons did just as characters, because they were always the butt of the joke, or like literally was in the butt of a big show
for that match. Yeah.
So it's like all that stuff, and it's like it's crazy as things happen. Even like I believe it was 2 years prior, it was the ladder match where it was Steve Austin versus Shane and Vince McMahon. That was also another really good match. But Shane, he was just a good talker. Good valet.
I think he was just a good character, like the billionaire.
Good character, yeah, but a good character, but never had to be like a great wrestler, because he's had a lot of matches. He wrestled Mick Foley, wrestled The Rock, wrestled Steve Austin, wrestled.
Yeah, I think he was just crazy athletic.
Who's who? He wrestled Taker at a Mania. He had 2 when you think back.
He called Taker to do it too. Yeah, he's like, come on, let's do it.
Hey man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
what are you doing this year?
I think Shane's one of the first people that you looked at and you're like, all right, if you're athletic, you have a good chance to make everything look cool, or at least make everything entertaining. Because I remember when I first saw him against X-Pac, it's like, oh shit, he's athletic. Okay, now
him and X-Pac, that's another great person. WrestleMania 15, it was an awesome match.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm intrigued because he looks athletic. If he looks sloppy like Vince did, but Vince had the luxury of being in his 50s and 60s, so it's like, all right, if he's sloppy, he's suddenly the owner, not a wrestler. You can get away with it. Where Shane was like late 20s, early 30s, or probably mid 30s there. So I'm like, all right, if he's athletic, he could make it work. But I do think this was more, for me, I just think it brought out more of Angle, because I think you saw a lot of these, and at least aspects in Shane's matches where you didn't see much of those in Angle's matches. But I do think of Austin and Angle. I do think of Lesnar Angle. I do wish there was more Rock Angle.
I do too, because the promos could have been a lot better as well.
Yeah, so I always think Jericho and Angle was a miss. Rock Angle was a little bit of a miss for the long-term stuff. Even, I know they had a little bit of a rivalry in 2000, and then they did the match before Mania 22, but I wish I even saw more Taker, Deadman Taker, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, because cool. When Taker went back to being the Deadman gimmick, they had some good feuds.
They just had like one mini feud, I think.
Yeah.
So I wish they did a little bit more. But let us know your thoughts, on the 2001 landscape, 2000 landscape, like whatever you guys want. I mean, obviously Angle and Shane, they go through multiple eras of WWE. So you could even talk about the Ruthless Aggression era or and stuff like that. But let us know your thoughts all in all. Their best opponents, where does this match rank in both of their catalogs? I definitely think for maybe Angle is probably... I'll say top 5, like no bullshit. For Shane, I think that's his best one. So I'll say top 1 for Shane, top 5 for Angle, because you do have that Shawn Michaels WrestleMania match and other matches that I'm probably just blanking out on. But again, let us know your thoughts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at PML Show. And hope you guys enjoyed King of the Ring 2001, the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon match. Stay tuned as always. We're here every Friday. Wherever you get your podcasts or listen to your podcasts, or if you guys want to watch us on YouTube, watch us watching the match. You guys can do that. Every Friday is when we post our new episodes. So if you guys don't give us any suggestions, we will obviously pick one amongst ourselves and let you guys know in advance. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. We are the PML Crew. Rich Lopez, Tom Malloy, Rob Price is always with us. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend as always. I think the weather's going to be nice this week, so you could probably...
I'm down for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the high 80s, early 90s, so enjoy with the shorts and the short sleeves. Until next week, as always, stay safe. Peace.